Okay, hello and good morning, everybody, for our monthly talk on Holistic Health Alliance's YouTube channel. And we are very excited to have Tami Killam here with us today. And she has a very interesting topic, and I am very curious to listen to that. Just quickly, before we jump into our talk, I will introduce the organization, Holistic Health Alliance. So, we are an organization, and the mission is simple to build healthier communities through education and dissemination of information about simple tools for prevention and holistic solutions for health and wellness. We have free year round events. You can publish articles, you can give talks, and you can network with other holistic health professionals. And this not only benefits and empowers the community, it also gives exposure and visibility to the holistic practitioners who deliver and talks and write and research articles. And WHA also strives to bring the holistic practitioner community together for networking, enhanced interdisciplinary collaborations for simple learning from other holistic modalities and their approaches to health and wellness. In addition to our year-round talks and events, we hold practitioner meetings and fun get-togethers to build a strong, well-connected body of holistic professionals. And the founder of WHA is Dr. Pratibha Shah. And we also have another branch of a Holistic Health Alliance, which is the Youth Brigade. And they do an amazing job on two topics. One is the Teen Mental Health Initiative, and the other one is the Fooditude, which is building awareness about the healthy eating. And Teen Mental Health Initiative is about bringing awareness towards mental health topics. So these are two great projects. And without further delay, I want to introduce Tami Killam. And rather, I will let her introduce herself today, and we will move on to the presentation. Thank you so much. And hi, Tami. Welcome to Holistic Health Alliance.
Thank you so much for having me and asking me to come on to do a talk. My name is Tami, and I own Whispering Path Holistic Massage in Seekonk, Massachusetts. And I have been on a 14-year healing journey. And it's a major foundation of who I am today. I would not be a holistic massage therapist if I hadn't went through some really challenging chronic illness issues and continue to deal with them as well. So now I do run a massage business, but it's a holistic business because I'm also a yoga teacher, a meditation teacher, a Reiki master teacher, a Lomi Lomi bodywork practitioner, Thai bodywork practitioner, and a polarity therapy practitioner. So I bring in a lot of different modalities. So people come to me for just massage. Sometimes people come for me for massage and other practices as well. The average that people spend with me is about 2 hours, and they really take care of their self-care. I have learned so much on my journey of healing that I feel like that has made me a really good healer to hold space for people to be able to feel loved and to be able to feel cared for and to have a space where they can totally relax. We know that our bodies only have the opportunity to heal if we can move into our parasympathetic nervous system, our rest, recovery, and repair state. If we're not able to find that relaxation in our lives, in our days, we tend to be more in the fight and flight and the sympathetic nervous system, and no healing can happen there. So today I really wanted to talk about stress, and I want to talk about how we're choosing to show up every day for ourselves, for other people, how we're choosing to utilize our energy. And I want to talk about taking our power back because I see a lot of patterns in taking care of beautiful people. They come into my space. I have so much gratitude for them, for allowing me to go come onto their journey with them and take care of them through massage and all the practice that I do. But I notice, listening to people with a non-judgmental ear, with a compassionate heart, I notice different patterns, and I notice how the Western world tends to make people feel exhausted and overworked, and they feel so overwhelmed that they're not able to focus and stay balanced. I like to use the word soul wellness. And what I mean by that is creating body, mind, soul balance while you're still dealing with the demands of life. When people come into my space, I always say, use this as a sanctuary from the demands of life. Allow this space to be your time for you. We are human beings, not human doings. And a lot of times people's work treats them like robots. They got to get this done. They got to do this. They got to do that. But they're not able to do that while they're taking rest. The body needs rest. The body cannot continue to do everything without self-care. I believe that from my own experience. I have a few chronic illnesses, and I am very truthful and honest that I still deal with them. But I have had Western medicine doctors tell me that my practices have saved my life. I would not be able to do what I'm doing with 4 children, running a business, going back to massage school last year. I wouldn't have been able to do that without these practices and without deep self-care routine roots. You have to root down to be able to rise up. I really embody Phoenix energy. We crash and burn. We learn something from those lessons, and then we spread our wings, and then we rise back up like the Phoenix. That's how my journey has always been. And you'll have to allow yourself to feel on your journey. You have to move through feelings. From my own experience recently, I got a new diagnosis that was missed for years and years and years. Wow. And I only had one doctor say, wow, this test result came back this. We need to give you the next panel to make sure we know. I probably wouldn't have been in excruciating pain and so exhausted for a lot of my life. So you have to go through the feelings, right? You got to go through the feelings of a little bit of denial, a little bit of anger, a little bit of, oh, wow, we found something that we can work with, that I'm going to feel better, the hopefulness, the moving into acceptance. Life is a journey. We're not going to get to a certain place and everything is going to be perfect and it's going to be rainbows and butterflies and sprinkles and unicorns, right? It's a journey. Soul work, continually working on your own self. Your soul is the being that rides in this vessel that takes us around, right? So we have to do our work to learn more about ourselves. And when we do practices like yoga, Reiki, massage, all these types of things that slows things down. I say when you get on your yoga mat, it's like you're getting on a magic carpet ride, and you're coming home to your own self. And that yoga practice, when you show up on your mat, that yoga practice is going to rise up. It's going to meet you. And it's going to teach you things about yourself that you didn't even know was in there. You have everything you need inside of yourself. We just have to excavate all the little parts. All the people that we meet on this earth, they're here to teach us a lesson of some sort. It might be a hard lesson. It might be an amazing lesson, but it's a lesson. And all these little lessons, they add up to the curriculum of our life. So we have to pause, right? We have all of this stimulation coming in. We've got the stimulation coming in, and the ego, we just want to react. Boom, 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 right? But our practices teach us, especially meditation, teaches us to sit still, to be with ourselves, to slow the mind down, right? To slow the mind down and to be able to pause and process and then respond to the stimuli to your life. Now, all this stimuli that's coming in, it can cause a lot of stress, right? We hear that word a lot, right? We hear stress to the point where people don't even take it seriously anymore, right?
Yeah.
The definition of stress is a state of mental or emotional strain or tension resulting from adverse or very demanding circumstances. You go to the doctors, they do blood work. Your blood work comes back fine, but you have all these symptoms and you don't feel well. What do they tell you? Oh, it's from stress. They don't tell you how to get out of stress. They don't tell you how to work on yourself so you don't have the stress that's impacting your physical body, your emotional body, your energy body, right? They just tell you I'm stressed. So a lot of times people will leave the doctors and they'll be like, oh, it's just stress. Well, no, it's stress. And it's an important piece of knowledge in the puzzle, right? So you have to pause and ask yourself, do you feel overwhelmed with life? Do you feel like you're being pulled in a zillion directions and you're not grounded? You're not rooted. You're all over the place, right?
Okay.
Is your physical body being taxed by this? Are you feeling pain? Are you feeling tensions in your muscles, right? Do you have all these emotions coming up? Do you have anxiety? Are you worried about what's coming? Are you feeling like you have a low mood because of the circumstances that you're currently in? These all impact and tell us that stress is present.
Yeah. So true.
If you have symptoms, it's a good idea to go to the doctors. Now, I first went to Western medicine. Most Western medicine has failed me. I will be honest with you. I've had a little bit of success, but on the whole, for my 14 years of healing, not so much on Western medicine. However, Western medicine does have certain blood tests that give us knowledge of what's going on inside the body. So it's good to have that piece. But I personally have used a lot more Eastern medicine and a lot more practices, a lot more herbal supplements, the yoga, all the practices, the meditation, the things that get us into parasympathetic nervous system.
Yes.
So if we go to the doctors, if we feel like we have symptoms that warrant that, because to me, every doctor I meet, every naturopath I meet, every Reiki teacher I meet, every massage therapist, and all the acupuncturists, the chiropractors, all the people I meet, they're all part of my healing team. They're all little bits and pieces of a puzzle that I'm trying to put together. And as we put this puzzle together, sometimes a piece falls out and we got to look for another healer to come in. Sometimes the whole puzzle falls on the floor and we say, oh no, the body is changing, something is happening, and I've got to start all over again. Again, yoga teaches us in the first Yoga Sutra that you can always begin again, right? Because it's not always going to be success. We have to have failure to know success, right? We have to have challenge and suffering to know triumph and feeling amazing. We have to have the polarity of both. So if you go to the doctors and you get, getting some information and whatnot, and they say it's just stress, well, it's stress and you need to take care of that. Right? And you might need a second opinion as well. Or you might go, there's so many things you could do on a healing journey. And you have to really listen to your very own soul about what is the best for you. Because what might be the best for me may not be the best for you, and vice versa, right? Or I sometimes do share my journey with my clients because sometimes that's a light bulb moment. Some says, oh, wow, like, I know my journey is not your journey, but I never thought about going, having a massage with Reiki. I never thought about the two together. I can only speak in my scope of practice. Obviously, I can't recommend people be going here, there, and everywhere. I only can do what the stuff that I'm trained on. So I like to share how those different practices have supported my wellness, because I believe 1,000% that these practices save my life. They continue to save my life so I can run a massage business and take care of beautiful souls. That lights my soul up. That's my, I always say my journey and purpose on life is soul work on myself so I can discover myself, because I really did discover myself on a yoga mat. Before I stepped on a yoga mat many years ago, I realized I didn't know myself, right? I
So
didn't
true.
love myself enough to take the time. I didn't have the knowledge. How can you fault yourself? How can we fault the people out there that don't have the knowledge? That's the beauty of these kind of talks, right? And so
Yeah.
the other part of my purpose in life is sacred work. And that's to be able to hold space for beautiful people and to give them knowledge, right? And to also have them come in and for me to give them 2 hours of peace and relaxation that could be their aha moment for the whole entire week about how important it is to take care of themselves. Now, once we figure out that we have stress, we need to figure out what we're going to do about it, right? Because just knowing does nothing. We need to become aware. That's the first step of change, is to become aware. We become aware, and then we make a plan, and then we have to place action. If there's no awareness, there's no middle, there's no action at the end, and nothing happens, right? Sometimes we start a plan, and something happens and we fall off the wagon. And typically people beat themselves up about it mentally. I didn't do that. I can't follow through. Pick yourself up, give yourself grace and compassion, and begin again, start again. We're not perfectionists here. It's going to be ebb and flow. But if every day we try to do our best by choosing what's going to be best for us in that moment with the knowledge we have, we'll be better off for tomorrow, because today is going to impact our tomorrow. But we truly only have today. We truly only have today. So we need to make the best choices for our own self. And we are the only ones that's going to know what the best choices are. We can go to different doctors, we can go to different naturopaths, and they can be great place for knowledge that we don't know. And then at the end of the day, once we hear what the options are, we have to pause. We have to figure out what is going to be best for us to try. So once we know we have the stress, we have to decide, like, do we need to change something in our lifestyle? Is something in our lifestyle, giving me this unbalanced feel? Do we need to get more knowledge about what might be ailing us? Do we need to get knowledge about how to reduce stress, right? It's great to know that we have stress, but if we don't know how to reduce it, how's it really going to help to have that knowledge, right? I'm a firm believer in taking care of yourself first. Now, the Western world teaches us that's so selfish. Well, I'm here. I feel like I bust all the myths. I feel like I'm here saying, no, listen to me. I'm over here telling you that taking care of yourself first is a necessity. When we take care of our energy bodies, and our energy bodies take care of our physical beings, and our energy and our vibratory frequency is elevated and we feel good. When we walk into a room, we are impacting that space and all the people in it. We have that 6-foot aura around ourselves. When we're at the grocery store and we're waiting in line to check out our groceries, we're sharing energy with everybody in the space. It's like when people come in to, say, the kids, they're coming in from high school and they're grouchy, and they come into the kitchen and they're grouchy. Within 20 minutes, the rest of us are going to be grouchy because that energy is just bouncing off everywhere. However, if I come into the kitchen after my kids have had a hard day And I'm like, hey, how are you? And I come in with this high vibing energy. Within 20 minutes, they're going to be uplifted. You're going to feel that, right? So a lot of people don't believe in what they can't see. So because we can't see energy, really, people forget about it. But I'm here to tell people that the energy body is so important. That's why Reiki is so important. When you take care of your energy body, you get your chakras in the center of your body, your energy system flowing. That's going to impact your physical being, right? When we get a headache, we have physical symptoms. Our energy body has already tried to tell us that something was out of balance, that something was out of whack. But if you're not in tune with your own energy, you miss it. You miss those cues. So then you get the headache, and the Western world says, go take a Tylenol.
Yeah.
That's just masking the symptoms. That is not helping find the root cause of the problem. I am all about finding the root cause of issues. And it's not easy all the time. But the more you reduce your stress, the better it's going to impact your overall wellness. So I like to be real with people. I'm not about fake. I'm not about just talking that the sun is yellow and the sky is blue. I'm about talking about how do you really feel? What is really going on in your life? Are you feeling fulfilled? Do you feel love? Are you sending the energy out into the world that you want to receive? Because we know that the energy we send out is what we are manifesting back. Okay? I'm a firm believer in following the moon cycles, the full moon, the new moon. You know, when we have full moon, it's all about letting go of things that don't serve us, creating space. We can't bring anything new into our lives unless we're creating some sort of space, right? If we're all bogged up with everything, nothing new is going to come in, right? Then we've got the new moon telling us it's time to plant the seeds. It's time to plant the seeds, send the energy out, and we're going to manifest some new things. But you can't manifest new things if you don't have space. And sometimes things will happen in life where we'll lose something, right? We'll lose a job, we'll lose a relationship, or something that's really important we lose. And it's a very challenging time in life. However, when you look back later and you see how things transpire, you understand why you had to lose that to gain something else that was waiting to come in, right? It's ebb and flow, right? Yeah. There's our plan and the plan. And our plan and the plan have to get together, and they've got to mix up to come up with the actual manifested plan. That's my belief. And so I'm talking today to you with how I feel, what has worked for me, what I have learned. If somebody is not agreeing with something I'm saying, it's okay, because you have to pick and choose what works for you. And we all live in harmony together, respecting everybody's choices, right? So every day when you wake up, do you ask yourself what you need? Do you ask yourself what you want? Do you ask yourself what your soul desires? We got to do this. This is soul wellness. This is taking care of ourselves, right? We need to give our bodies what they need to thrive so they can thrive, right? Are we overriding our... Are you overriding your body's signals? You know, are you not paying attention to what your body is talking? The body has a language, whether you want to listen to it or not. At nighttime, when you're exhausted and you're trying to push through the next task, your body is telling you that you've used all your energy up for the day, that you need to go to sleep. Sleep is so important to re-energize, right? It's like plugging yourself back in, right? The cell phones don't work unless you put them in the cradle, right? They don't work the next day. The battery's gone. Well, our battery, the energy, needs sleep. And that's where our bodies are able to do a lot of processes. We have so many organs and systems that do so much that we take for granted every day. But while we're sleeping, this is when that renewal period happens. And life responsibilities, they tend to come in the forefront. And then we tend not to pay attention because we have to-do lists. Well, on my journey, I have learned that there's always going to be something on the to-do list. You take 5 things off the to-do list, 10 things come back on. That's just the way it is.
So
And
true.
if you're waiting for your to-do list to be 100% done so you can do some self-care, you're never going to do any self-care. And I used to be like that 20 years ago. Okay. I used to be like that. And now I know that I have to put myself on the calendar. I have to put myself on the to-do list. I have to get up every morning and do my yoga before I do anything else, because that's how I'm plugging in, right? And my energy gets more, my mindset gets better. I get into the, I get to do this all day, right? Not I have to do this. I get to do this, right? I get all excited. You got to take your body's signals seriously, okay? We need to feed our bodies with whole, real food, right? We've got to go back to cooking. That was one thing on my journey that, get the crock pot out. There's so many little things that you can do to make things easy. Eating healthy, whole ingredients does not have to be very time consuming. Okay, but I'm telling you, the time you take to prepare food, because this is like you put the gasoline in your vehicle, you've got to put the nourishment in your body. If you're eating packaged foods with a label this long, ingredients, you have no idea. If you don't know what it is, the body doesn't know how to process it. Okay, we need to put food in that the body knows how to process. So we need to fuel our bodies. We need to rest our bodies. We need to take care of our energy. There's lots of things that this body, this vessel needs. Sometimes people will say, I can do, I can go. For a while, you might be able to. There are certain special people out there that are like Energizer bunnies. But at some point, it's going to catch up.
Yep.
It's going to catch up. So instead of years from now, taking time to have to sit in a doctor's office, let's take time to cook real food. Let's take time to get proper rest. Let's take time to meet our friend and have connection. What is this? We're all living in our own little boxes, not talking to anybody.
Oh, yeah.
The saddest thing I have learned out of taking care of people is that nobody feels love. Nobody feels connection.
There's no belonging.
Yes. Nobody feels like they belong. Yeah. This impacts our wellness. We, as human beings, I'm a massage therapist. We need therapeutic touch.
I so agree. Yeah.
All in lockdown when COVID happened and nobody had any kind of hugs or any kind of therapeutic touch, people's mental states were not good, because the human body, the human being is meant to have connection.
Absolutely.
With other people, and to share that vibratory, loving frequency, that face to face, how are you doing today? No, like, how are you really doing today? Not that how you doing and people go say good or, it's a one-word answer. No, pause. How are you truly doing today? I'm asking you because I care. I want to hear what is up in your world. I want to hear what's making you sad today. I want to hear what's making you excited today. I want to know what's really going on. I want it to be real. So taking care of your soul wellness and taking care of your self-care is multidimensional. There are so many little things every day that you can do to elevate your vibration, to feel belonging, to feel connection, to feel love, to feel healthy, to feel mentally well, to feel energetically lifted.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your health is so important. You are so important. You deserve time. We've got 24 hours in a day. We're worth way more than an hour a day, but I'm being kind here, saying you deserve an hour a day. You deserve way more than that. And if somebody tells me they can only take 15 minutes, whatever you can take. I'm not going to have a confrontation about how many minutes you think you can take in a day. What I'm trying to say is you deserve the time to take care of you at some point in a 24-hour period. So, what are you going to do? It is your responsibility. Nobody else is going to take better care of yourself than you. The inspiration has to come from ourselves, right? First and foremost, we have to take the action. Nobody else is going to get me to the gym and run on the elliptical for 20 to 30 minutes. Nobody else is going to do that for me, right? Nobody else is going to get up and make sure my kids get everywhere they need to go, right? There are certain things that we've got to do. We also have to take care of ourselves. If we create a practice, and a practice is ever changing, what you may need right now might be different than what you need 2 weeks from now or what you needed a month ago. So you have to be able to change and evolve with what you need. Yoga teaches us the only thing we can count on is change. It's the only thing in life we can count on is things are going to change, things are going to evolve. The more you work on yourself, the more you're going to evolve and elevate, and the more your vibratory frequency is going to elevate. You want to place yourself with people that are actually at a higher frequency than you. Because if you're in an environment with a higher frequency, you're going up, man. That frequency is going up. If you're in places that are dimming your light, your frequency is going to go down. So you want to make sure that you're asking yourself, is the spaces that I'm putting myself in, are the people that I'm hanging around with, are they serving me for my highest and best? Am I feeling elevated from those interactions? This is so, so important. Oh, there's so much to talk about. So, self-care. It's basically anything you do to calm your nervous system down and makes you happy. I tell my clients all the time, it's amazing to go for a massage. It's amazing to come for Reiki. It's amazing to do yoga. But some days that might not be possible for a lot of different reasons.
So true.
So maybe your self-care is 15 minutes at home, drinking a cup of tea mindfully, taking a bath, sitting outside for 10 minutes with your feet on the ground, grounding to the earth, getting the earth's frequency up into your vibratory frequency. Talk about plugging in to the highest energetic evolution you can have, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So
So true.
there's so many things we can do for self-care. And if we make it doable, right? If we have realistic expectations and then we actually do it, it elevates us to do more in the future. If we make these big grandiose plans and say, I'm going to get on my yoga mat 2 hours every day for 7 days a week, we're not going to do it. It's not going to happen. And then you're going to fall off the wagon. It's just not going to happen. So I want to emphasize realistic goals and expectations, working with what you've got going on in your life. I tell you, life is not perfect, right? We're always going to have certain things that we're handling that we might not want to handle. But if we have some kind of practice and we do it first thing in the morning, we take care of ourselves first, we're able to flow through the day easier and better. And, this goes back to preconditions by prehistoric times with our fight and flight, right? The stimuli comes in, we get all stressed out, and it's like we're running for our life like a saber-toothed tiger is chasing us, right? And that's our fight and flight and freeze response. No healing can happen there, right? So when we pause, when we do these practices, when we get into a relaxation state, we stimulate our parasympathetic nervous system, which is our rest, repair, and recovery. That's what we need to do on a regular basis to continue to heal our own selves. Homeostasis is a healing place where your body repairs and heals. We always want to keep our bodies in this homeostasis, right? When we get into parasympathetic nervous system and we're all, crazy, it takes a good hour for us to calm down from that, physiological. If we're always in that fight and flight, we really are in chronic stress. Chronic stress causes inflammation. It can cause anxiety and insomnia and obesity, autoimmune disease. It can cause a lot of things. We need to get ourselves out of that state of chronic stress, which means we have to put ourselves first, which means we have to create a practice. Because when we're in chronic stress, our bodies break down slowly. And as they break down slowly, we have less vitality. Personally, I want to move through this life with all of the triumphs and the challenges. I want to move through this life in an energetic state of bliss.
Yes.
Right? I want to be flowing with the energy. Right? Yeah. I want to be lifted up. I don't want to be dragging my tail. Oh, I want that I get to attitude. Right?
Yeah.
And the way I get it is through my practices and taking the best care of myself and making myself a priority. Self-care and practices are so important because this is the space where your body returns to rest, deep relaxation, refocus, rebalance, rejuvenation. The power of your own soul to heal your physical body is real. It is so real. You've got to ask yourself, how are you spending your energy? We only have so much energy every day. What are you choosing to spend your energy on? Make sure you're spending some energy on yourself. I always talk about filling your cup. When you do practices, when you take the best care of yourself, you're filling your cup.
Yep.
You do not have anything to give anybody else unless your cup is full and it's overflowing. The cup is full for you, and the overflow is what you give out into the world. If you do not have an overflow, you have nothing to give anybody or any situation or any work stuff. We have to fill the cup by taking care of ourselves every single day. And some days it might be an hour yoga class. And some days it might be a 10-minute grounding outside. And some days it may be a 5-minute cup of tea. And some days it might be the whole day. Have you ever thought about looking at a calendar and saying, this day is my day? It has nothing on it. So I can wake up in the morning and decide what I want to do. Put yourself on the calendar. I have a monthly membership I do because I want my clients to put themselves on the calendar and know that once a month, they are going to get the best possible care to re-energize and re-elevate themselves.
Amazing.
Got to put yourself on the calendar. How do we do this? Okay, you've been listening to me talk about how important this is. How do we actually put it into action? We need to create a soul wellness plan. Now, remember I said soul wellness is about creating body, mind, soul balance while we're still dealing with the demands of life. I know that people can't just shut down and not go to work. I get that. Yeah. They can't stop taking care of their kids. They can't. I understand. But we can put ourselves on the list. We can put our self-care as a priority. So a soul wellness plan is all about what are we going to do to take care of ourselves? I personally recommend writing it down on a piece of paper, right? Writing down what are your goals? But first, we have to go back to the question earlier that I said of how do you feel? What do you want? What do you need? What do you desire? When you
Amazing.
sit quietly in meditation and you ask yourself these questions, let the answers come up organically as your soul whispers to you. Your soul is not going, you're not going to hear your soul unless you get quiet. Souls speak in whispers. They don't speak in chaotic, they don't yell. They speak when you get quiet and you ask questions, the soul will talk to you. You know intuitively what you need. Everybody knows, but we're all pushing our intuition down because we think something is more important. I'm going to tell you, if you get sick, if you're not feeling well, the body is going to shut down. The body is going to say, sorry, you're not going to work today because you are very sick, right?
Yeah.
We don't want that. We want to be vibrant. We
Yeah.
want to feel good. We want to feel happy. We want to feel well. But you have to take care of yourself. Just like, if you have a deadline at work and you have to get something done, it's not
Yeah.
going to get done unless you take the time to do it. So it's time to put ourselves on the list and have a soul meeting with ourselves every month. At the beginning of the month, we're coming up into the first of the month, coming up very soon. Sit with yourself. Think about last month, how you felt. Think about how you want to feel this month and what kind of action plan, what little baby steps. Doesn't have to be this big thing. Can be little steps, because little steps, they manifest into big success. So
Yeah.
little steps every single day. As we make this plan, as we're speaking, as we're talking to our own self, as our self is talking to us, we can create some goals. Okay.
Yeah.
So my goal for last month was to do yoga every single day.
Yeah.
Before I went to massage school, I had a very solid practice. I go to
Nice.
massage school. I had some medical issues. My practice is always there because I can't live without it, but it wasn't to the point where I needed it to be in this present moment.
Okay.
So in September, I said, I got to change this. I'm aware. What am I going to do? I told myself I was going to get on my mat every single day, whether it was 15 minutes or an hour, whether it was practice by myself or practice at a studio, whether it was online practice, whatever kind of practice it was, whether it was practice with people or by myself. And I've done that. And I feel way better for it. So now
Mhm.
as I step into the next month, I say, okay, well, that really worked for me.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take that and I'm going to bring it into the next month because I want to continue it. But what else do I need? And then I'm going to listen. And then I'm going to say, something to myself. And I'm going to say, okay, let me write this new goal down. Okay. So I
Yeah.
take the goal from last month that worked. I'm going to put something else in and I'm going to make it doable for the time I know that I can allot to myself. And I have these goals. As you keep doing this every month, you keep having that soul meeting with yourself at the beginning of the month. You'll notice that certain things you needed before you don't need now. And you'll notice there are other things that you do. So these goals are going to constantly be evolving with what you need, with your own healing, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes it is hard to go at this alone.
Okay.
It is
Yeah,
hard
for sure. Yeah.
to stick with all of our goals, especially with all of the stimuli coming in.
Mm-hmm.
We do need to realize, though, that we have to look inside ourselves and we have to be our own anchor. We have to inspire our own selves. We have to motivate our own selves, whether that's just through our own being or through listening to podcasts or whatever it is. However, it is amazing to have practice partners, to have inspiration buddies, to
Yes,
have
for sure.
connection, to place yourself with other people that are like-minded. that go to the gym, that get on a yoga mat, that go to a yoga studio, that go see a massage therapist every month, that go take care of their energy through Reiki. Place yourself in an area, in a space with people that are doing the things that you know that will benefit you. Because then you're talking to people, you're hearing their experiences of how it's serving them. And they may say something like, oh, did you know about that class? That's a restorative class. And oh my goodness, it was amazing for me. You might want to try it out. And you bounce things back and forth between each other. You may have a practice partner, and that practice partner might pick up their phone and might text you, did you practice today? That one question could change your whole entire day. You
Absolutely.
feel seen.
Accountability. Yeah.
You feel seen. You feel heard. You feel wanted. You feel loved. You feel like somebody cares about you. And you're like, wow, they asked me my practice. And if you did, you can go back and say, oh my God, it was the best practice ever. But maybe you woke up in a little bit of a mood that day and you hadn't done it yet. Your ego was kicking in and you were feeling sluggish and you were like feeling resistance. And you get that one question. Your whole day changes because you're like, you know what? I got to figure out how I'm going to fit that in today because it's important to me. So having people that whether you see them and you practice with them, whether you go places and get services done like massage, like Reiki, whether you go to a studio and do yoga, whether you have a practice partner that you actually just practice with, one-on-one, or whether it's people around you that you just send those quick texts. Those texts are invaluable. Obviously, I love face-to-face connection. I like being in the same space, but we know that it's not always doable every day to be able to have that connection every single day.
Yeah.
However, we have apps like Marco Polo, like a videoing talk app that's super easy to use. We have texting. Yeah, the Marco Polo app is amazing. It's just a video app where you hit a button, you make you talk to whoever you want to talk to, you send it to them, they watch you, they hit the button, they make a video and send it to you. So, you know how sometimes people don't call people because they're at work, and then you go through your day and you're like, oh my goodness, I never called them, and it's 10 o'clock at night and you're not going to call them, right? But with the Marco Polo app, you can say what you want to say in real time, and then they'll get it when they get out of work. It's ingenious because you can have that back and forth while you're dealing with all the demands of life, but you won't forget what you want to tell them. So we have different ways that we can communicate with people, but we do want to make sure every month that we're making time to maybe go get a smoothie with somebody or take a yoga class with somebody. We need that connection and that love. Are you giving your power away? Ask yourself this. After everything we talked about this morning, are you taking care of everyone but yourself? Are you getting your to-do list done, but you never show up on the to-do list? Are you feeling energetically depleted every single day you wake up? You never feel rested. Are you giving your power away? You have so much energy. You have free will. You have choice. You have responsibility of the way you spend your time, your energy, how you give your love out, how you stay connected to people. This is all you. You get to do this. Isn't this exciting? Like we can create our own life, right? We can create our connections. We can create our self-care. We can create that feeling of belonging and connection. We can send out our love to people and say, hey, how are you? Like, really, how are you? Right?
Yeah. So we have the power, but we have not just using it, or we don't know that,
Right, because there's so much stuff coming in. We get overwhelmed. As soon as we get overwhelmed, people forget to prioritize themselves because they feel like they're being pulled in a zillion directions, right? It's normal. Unfortunately, it's normal, but I'm here to give the knowledge to tell people that that doesn't have to be your normal, because walking through life feeling exhausted and depleted People are going to feel that when you're working with them, when you're taking care of them, when you're trying to show up for them, but you're dragging your tail across the threshold of the door. We want people to feel our vibrancy. We want people to feel our love. We want people to feel our elevated, charged energy. And in
So
order
true.
for us to show up like that, we have to show up for ourselves first. And we have to do the self-care.
Yeah,
So ask
absolutely.
yourself, are you living in the present moment, or are you stuck in your old patterns? Are you feeding yourself these lies of, I can't do this because of that? I can't do this because of that. Ask yourself, is what I'm doing now still serving me? Sometimes we get caught in
Exactly.
patterns 5, 10, 15 years. We do the same thing. One day we see a talk like this, and they say, ask yourself if this is serving you. The person says, is this
Nope.
serving me? They go, oh my goodness, I just had awareness that something I've been doing for the last 10 years is just not serving me anymore. Like, this is powerful.
Yeah,
Questioning yourself is powerful. So I want to remind people that we have to begin again. We have to release old patterning. We have to bring awareness to that. Getting on a yoga mat brings a lot of awareness. I'm going to tell you, I am very partial
absolutely.
to yoga. It saved
Yeah,
my life. So being in the present moment, having a gratitude mindset for everything you experience in your life, the good, the not so good, the challenge, the triumph, all the polarities of life. Have gratitude for it all, because they're all amazing lessons. They're all amazing lessons that are going to allow you to understand yourself so much more and allow you to take more time for you. I talked about Ram Dass at the beginning of this talk, and he has a quote that says, life is an incredible curriculum in which we live it richly and passionately as a way of awakening to the deepest truths of our own being. So, how are you living your curriculum? I want to empower everyone that sees this that you are important, that you are worth it, that you deserve to take time to take the best care of you. And you get to choose what the best care is for you, how powerful that is. And the power in life is there is no one else like you. You are not replaceable, even though the workforce basically makes you feel like it sometimes in certain situations. You are not replaceable because there is nobody else like you. There is nobody else that's going to do everything exactly like you. You
yeah,
have unique qualities. You're rare. You're
yep.
unique. So know that you deserve the best possible care for your own deepest truth. We also need to remember Thich Nhat Hanh said, without suffering through the mud, you cannot find the happiness of a lotus. If you've ever heard the saying, no mud, no lotus, lotuses are amazing, beautiful, sacred flowers that come up through grit and grime and mud. Imagine yourself as a sacred lotus moving through the demands of life that is the mud and coming out of that mud as a beautiful 1,000-petal lotus.
Yeah,
It's very important because we have to have the suffering to have the happiness, right? It's part of it. It's the polarity of life. So what I want to leave you with is reminding you to release unrealistic expectations. Okay. Make your goals, make your soul wellness plan realistic and doable. Start small
yeah,
and add to it. Allow yourself to put yourself in places and spaces and with people that are going to elevate you. Give yourself time to sit in meditation, to sit on a yoga mat, to just be quiet with yourself, and know that in meditation, it's a myth that your mind is always going to be quiet. Meditation is a tool to start to allow the vrittis, all that stuff that's going on in the mind, allow it to start to calm down and slow down. But there are days when you sit by yourself that you're going to have this monkey mind going back and forth. You're still meditating. So don't stop because you don't think that you are. As long
Right.
as you're pausing and we're trying to teach our brains to get a little bit more quiet so we can hear the whispers of our own soul, we need to ask ourselves, what sets your soul on fire? Ask yourself that.
Yeah.
What is going to set my soul on fire? And when you find the answer, do more of that and do more of that and do more of that. You may even want to create a vision board for yourself. Take a bulletin board with push pins, markers, paper, whatever you want. It doesn't have to be perfect, and start putting up those goals. The
Yeah.
great thing about a bulletin board, I use it all year long. My board does not look the same in January as it does in December.
Yeah.
Very different because
Yeah.
we're constantly evolving human beings. We're
Yeah.
constantly evolving. We're constantly changing. That means our soul wellness plans are constantly evolving and constantly changing. Live your truth. Be yourself. That is your power.
Yeah.
Be yourself. Continue to discover all the jewels inside of your own soul. Embrace the sacredness of who you are. Move away from fear by really embodying that vibratory frequency of love. Have a compassionate heart for yourself and for others, and be kind to yourself as you are to others.
So true. Yeah.
Give yourself that kindness and love that you share with everyone else by taking time for yourself every day, every week, and every month.
Mm-hmm.
Always rise back up like the phoenix. See the lesson in the crashing and burning. See the growth that happens in challenging situations. That's where most growth happens, when we're crashing and
Actually.
burning,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Use all those lessons to grow, to evolve, to rise back up. I like to say, flames and wings, baby. Flames and wings, right?
Okay.
Get the flames and then we get the wings and we
Wings.
spread. Yeah, Phoenix energy, Phoenix rising, because you got to root down to rise up. Take your power back. Please take your power back and give your energy to yourself so you can give your energy to everybody else. I thank you so much for having me on today. I hope that something I say is a light bulb moment for somebody else. And I just want to remind everybody, just do you. Just be you. Just take care of your energy so you can move through this world shining your amazing light, because you are amazing. I believe that.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Wow, this was so inspirational and motivational. And yeah, we keep talking about people being stressed, people being depressed, people feeling lonely, and we can solve all these problems, right? We can take control of our lives back. So this was amazing. Thank you so much, Tami.
You're
And
welcome. My pleasure.
yeah, I really hope that you continue to uh, inspire others to live their best lives. Thank you so much.
I plan on it. That's my purpose, is inspire others, take care of myself so I can take care of beautiful souls of this world. Every time people walk through my energy space, I have so much gratitude that they allow me on the journey to hold space so they can relax, so they can recharge, and they can rebalance.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
This was wonderful.
Namaste.
Thank you so much.
Peace, love,
And we
namaste.
hope to see you soon. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.